Good evening, everyone. It's great to be here with you all as part of your class of 2025 Loyola orientation. My name is Jim Dickinson. I'm the Assistant Vice President for Career Services at Loyola. I'm also a proud alum, and I'm excited to share with you a little bit about our work and what really is a new era for career readiness. Is the past year and a half, I think, have shown us that it's a new era for just about everything, it seems, these days. But I want to talk with you all tonight is our incoming class of 2025 and family members, a little bit about how we do our work around career readiness here at Loyola, both within our team and also across campus and with our incredible alumni network, and then be able to answer some of your questions through our Q&A function tonight. As a reminder, tonight's event is being recorded, so a video of this will be posted to the orientation website soon after today's event. So if you miss anything or want to review anything, you'll always be able to go back to that there. Before we get started and jump in, I would love to ask our participants if you'd like to open up your chat box. I'd love to hear from you all. First, just where you're watching from tonight in terms of city or state. I'd just love to see where we're coming from. All right, I see Lutherville, Maryland. So Wade, you may be able to hear me if you open up your windows, because I think we're right around the corner from each other tonight then. All right, we've got some more Maryland, New York City, Connecticut, Virginia, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania. All right, we've got a lot of the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic region represented here. We've got New Jersey in the house. It's great to see. That is my home state and came down to Loyola, very popular option for folks from that state, as I'm sure you're aware. We've got Dallas, Texas, welcome, and Owings Mills as well in Maryland. Great to see everybody. All right, so second question I have for you in the chat is if anybody would like to share a little bit about any majors and or career interests that you're considering. Just would love to get a sense if there's anything out there that I might be able to tailor some of my remarks towards tonight. All right, I see a business interest, business and marketing. All right, bio and forensic studies, super. And poli-sci, pre-law, mechanical engineering, okay. Great, diverse interests represented here tonight. Super. All right. Well, I will do my best to touch on some relevant examples to some of these different examples you've given me, and thank you for the information tech and data analysis as well. So this is great. All right. Well, I am going to share my screen in a moment, and I would ask you all from this point forward. We're actually going to close down the chat function and then have the Q&A area available for you to ask questions throughout tonight's conversation, as well as at the end. So I'll prompt for questions a couple times throughout, but feel free to provide questions as they come up, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Okay, so with that, I'm going to share my screen. All right. Well, hopefully you can all see the slideshow here. So again, we're talking about career services tonight, which I know maybe sounds a little odd to think. You're not even in college yet, and already we're talking about life after Loyola. But I think it's really important to start thinking about how you're going to utilize your college experience to prepare you for what's next. And a big piece of our career services philosophy at Loyola is that we want to work with you through the entire course of your time at school. from the earliest parts of your discerning about different career paths and discovering who you are, all the way through pursuing full-time jobs or graduate schools or other avenues after graduation. The first thing I want to show you all tonight is a rendering of our brand new Rizzo Career Center space, which is, it actually almost looks like this in real life as of today. This was a computer rendering done at the beginning of construction of the Fernandez Center on campus, which is a brand new building just off of the quad, and our brand new career center named after Dan and Kelly Rizzo, an alumni couple that gave a major gift to Loyola to support our relocation to this space. We're going to be housed here, and we are super excited. As you can see, we've actually modeled the experience to be similar to what you might experience in an Apple store, where there is no front desk. The entire experience is around having members of our team, some of our student staff members, out and about in this main area, there to greet you, find out what you're here for, in a really non-intimidating way, just to have conversations and point you in the right direction towards different kinds of services that we can offer to help you. We're also going to be hosting a lot of different panel events, speakers, small networking events in this space. So we're really excited to welcome you there. Our team is planning to move in sometime within the next 2 to 3 weeks. So we are super excited to be there and to greet you in this space. So where do we start with our philosophy behind career services? So our goal with career services at Loyola is really to meet you where you are, and under the premise that no one's career journey is the same as another person's. And while you might think about, well, my career is going to look like a straight line, kind of like a linear progression. In reality, a lot of our career paths are things where we'll go in certain directions, but we continue to learn about ourselves, and then that leads us to new directions. And so what we've built our team around is this 4-phase process that you see on the screen here. So there are phases in your life, in your career, where you're in self-discovery mode. You're learning things about your personal values, your interests, your talents, who you are. And then there are phases where you're exploring how do other people, what kind of career options are out there where people are expressing similar values and interests and talents in their work. So it's really getting a sense of exploring things that might be a great fit for who you are as a person and what you want to do with your career path. From there, we get to phases of preparation, where you're putting together a resume tailored to a specific goal. You're getting interview skills together, building LinkedIn profiles, getting networking skills in place. You're preparing all of these different things so that you can go into the 4th phase, which is active pursuit, where you're actually going after a first internship or a job or a graduate program. But from that active pursuit, say you get that first internship, we want you to then come back to a place of self-discovery. And this is where our team really worked with all of our students to then think about, what was that 12-week experience like? What did you learn? What was surprising to you? What did you enjoy? Maybe what was boring about it? What didn't you like? And what does that then mean for your next steps? And so you see that this process goes around and around, and it's a cycle that you will repeat many times throughout your career. One of the unique things about Loyola's Career Services is that we continue to serve you as alumni for your lifetime. And that can include anything from our one-on-one services, one-on-one appointments, to any of our events that we host. So one of the great things, especially in the past year and a half, is all different kinds of jobs and industries have been through pretty incredible turbulence, is that we've seen a large number of our alumni, larger than ever before, come back for advice on wanting to pivot their career path and thinking about new directions. So we're going to be here for you, not just for the next 4 years, but for the decades beyond that. I do want to give an exciting update on, excuse me, I think I just got out of my screen share there. An exciting update on our first destination data. I know many of you may have seen previous versions of this when you were considering Loyola, but I want to give you all some confidence as you're getting ready to enter your college experience. So we recently were able to publish first destination data for the class of 2020. So these are folks who graduated in May of 2020, which, as we all know, was really the beginning of the pandemic really ramping up. And so, we were very concerned for our students and the different kinds of job opportunities that they might have as they went out into the world. Some of the things we did at that point in time were, we decided as a career services team, we were going to call all 900 plus members of the class of 2020 individually on the phone. We split up the names and numbers. We made phone calls all through the month of May to check in and see how people were doing and see how we could be of help to them. And we continued to provide support in the months ahead as they continued to look for opportunities. We were thrilled when we did our first destination survey, which is based on a national standard methodology, where we found that within 9 months of graduation, 96.1% of our graduating class were landed in employment, graduate school, or a small percentage, which is not shown on here, in things like full-time post-college service programs or military service. That 96.1% in a typical non-pandemic year is between 97 and 98%. So while we saw a small decrease, what we saw in terms of a decrease was much smaller than what many of our peer institutions saw. And so I think it speaks to the power of the Loyola degree, to our students' resilience and adaptability to the situation, and as I'll touch on a couple times throughout tonight's conversation, the strength and the loyalty of our alumni network to help our students and recent grads find success in all times, including the challenging times we found in May of 2020. We also have the updated full-time salary information for those members of the class of 2020, and you'll see they actually went up from the year before overall and throughout all of our 5 major academic divisions. So again, just one additional data point that it wasn't just the students were finding full-time work, but those who were also finding salaries in line and actually slightly above years prior to that. So how did they do it? What were they doing over the course of their 4 years on campus to get ready? 4 key things that I want to encourage you to take advantage of as early as possible on campus. And one is seeking out events, seeking out ways to connect with our team while you're on campus at Loyola. So as most of you, hopefully you've been to campus already, you've seen the accessibility and how easy it is to get around. We will host events all over campus, especially in our brand new space this fall. Anything from panel events around different industries with alumni from those various jobs in those industries, to different kinds of networking events. We host over 2,000 one-on-one appointments with students every year in the Career Center. So we encourage you, it's very easy through our mobile app to actually make appointments on your phone and then just show up for the specific services you've requested. And to take advantage of all different kinds of workshops that we have around professional development skills, interviewing practice, all different kinds of offerings to help you get ready. So these are all things that will be on campus, advertised and available to you on a regular basis. The second piece that I would encourage you to do, and this really does apply, I think, more in your first 2 years in college than it does in your junior and senior year, is to take advantage of all of the off-campus experiential learning that we offer and that you'll also find offered through your different classes. So what we do a lot within career services is something called career treks, where we will take you out as students for 2 to 3 hour visits to various workplaces. We do things within Baltimore regularly, most often on Friday afternoons. So we'll take a shuttle down to visit all different kinds of companies in the area to get to know people there, meet alumni in various jobs. And we'll also host periodic treks to other cities. You can see some examples on the screen here in the lower left of visits to New York for students interested in finance careers, where we'll go to the stock exchange. We'll go out on the trading floor. We'll visit with alumni at a variety of Wall Street firms to learn about their careers. We also host a annual trek to the Today Show and visit with NBC and Rockefeller Center. Our students interested in journalism and different kinds of communication career paths get to see the live filming and then get a behind the scenes tour, which includes an introduction to their internship program from their internship manager. And then you see a variety of other photos on here, including visits to local firms like MindGrub, which was started by a Loyola alum. That is a web development and marketing and advertising consulting firm, as well as a visit to Contrast Security in the bottom center of the screen, which is a local cybersecurity firm hiring a lot of different kinds of computer-focused engineers and data scientists. So we really try to spread things around to visit all different kinds of companies and give you that early experience and exposure, not just to the company and the work itself, but the kinds of people that you'll meet there, the neighborhood and environment that company is in. And we want you to get those experiences early, even before you start applying for internships, so that you can think about which ones were most exciting to you and why. I want to also encourage you just to keep an eye out for invitations as you start at Loyola this fall for our 3 main technology platforms. Starting from the left, Handshake is the leader now in the United States by a long stretch of career services main platforms. So it is a place where you'll be able to make appointments with our team just with a few taps on your phone. You'll also be able to search for thousands of jobs and internships that are both curated from partners specific to Loyola, employers who say, I really want to hire Loyola Greyhounds, as well as a national network of companies, including all of the Fortune 500 that utilize Handshake to reach college level and entry level talent. It's also the place where you can sign up for any kind of events that we're hosting. So those career treks, networking events with alumni, they all get posted in here. You can register for those events with one click or tap, and then you'll get an alert to your inbox, meeting invites. It makes it as easy as possible to get signed up and then to show up. The second platform is Loyola Connect. This is our alumni networking platform. So we launched this about 4 years ago. We were client number 20 of this company called People Grove that puts together internal alumni and student networks for schools. They're working with well over 300 colleges and universities nationwide, and we were really pleased to be one of the leading schools to initiate this platform. Where it stands today is we've got over 2,300 alumni volunteers who have signed up and said, I want to be available to current students and young alumni to answer questions about my career path and help them out in any way I can. And when you go into this platform, you can see the specific types of help that alumni are offering. So some will say, I'd love to have an exploratory career chat with you and just tell you a little bit about what my day and my weeks look like. Others will say, I want to open doors for internships and jobs at my company. Contact me for that. So there's a couple dozen different help topics that you can search through, find people from all different jobs, all different industries, and connect with them. So it's a great way, in addition to eventually looking for jobs and internships, just to get to know people and understand what they're doing out there in their careers. Then the last platform is Big Interview. This is really a comprehensive interviewing, training, and practice platform where you can go in, get all kinds of short video tips and content to help you understand what to expect in different kinds of interviews. And those can be by industry, they can be by job title. There's also a whole graduate school preparation area there. And then there's a practice component where you'll actually be asked common interview questions for whatever scenario you want to go through by someone on screen. And then you get to record yourself on your laptop or on your phone answering that question. You can then watch that back. You can rate yourself on all different kinds of criteria. You can send that video to family members, friends, to professors even on campus to get their feedback. And there's even an artificial intelligence function within the platform that will analyze things like your rate of speech, how many filler words you use, what your tone of voice sounds like. And it'll give you immediate feedback to show you how you're coming across in that recorded video. So it can be a little uncomfortable to do. It may be something you don't do in your first year and don't need to do until you're really getting ready to actually interview for things. But I want to share it with you now, because the earlier you do start to get comfortable with that process, especially now in an era where I'm quite confident first round video interviewing is not going away. This is something that companies are going to continue to take advantage of even after the pandemic is fully behind us. So getting used to that skill set and what it feels like to be really speaking to someone on video, just like I am to you right now, can be a huge leg up before you get into the real thing. And then the last piece I really want to touch on in terms of getting ready is again, tapping into our alumni network. I already mentioned that Loyola Connect platform. We also host a branded series of conversations with our alumni called Loyola Connect Live. Oftentimes they are in-person events. This past year, we were able to host an incredible number of them via webinar. And one of the great lessons that we got from this was that while we used to always tap alumni locally or within the region, all of a sudden, we realized as we got used to using web technology and getting really good at it, that we were inviting alumni like Aaron Anderson that you see on the left-hand side, who has had an incredible career in Silicon Valley, working as an early person with Airbnb. She's with a new startup now. And so she shared her story in the Silicon Valley career path. We had Kiana Creighton, who is a member of the DC Mayor's Cabinet in Washington, got to share an incredible journey in terms of her public policy work and city government work, including what it's been like to manage through a pandemic. And then Greg Galeazzi, who is a fourth-year medical student at Harvard Medical School. He's also a decorated combat veteran. He was an ROTC graduate of Loyola. He came and talked to our students virtually from his home in Boston to share about his story and interact with a Q&A session. So I encourage you, anytime you see a speaker through our office, through other offices on campus, to learn about their stories, engage, even if you don't go to ask a question or to meet them, just listen. The earlier, the better, to hear what other people have done, how they've gotten there, what advice they might give to themselves as they were back as a first-year college student today. So with that, I'm so excited to welcome you to campus this fall. It's really a short, I guess about 5 weeks away from now. It's incredible how the summer's flying by, but it's going to be a wonderful time to really join back together as a community on campus in a way that we really haven't been able to do in the past year. And this, I showed you at the beginning of today's presentation, was I showed you the interior of our brand new career center. This is the exterior of the building, again, a rendering, but it really looks about 99% this way today. They're finishing up some of the exterior of the building and the plaza outside. So we hope you'll come visit us in the Rizzo Career Center in Fernandez Hall as soon as you're ready to engage with our team sometime this fall. And with that, I'm going to come out of my screen share, and I'd invite anyone, if you'd like to ask a specific question, anything on your mind, anything that I can answer for you about career services or about Loyola in general, I'm here to be of support and would love to engage that way. So feel free to put those questions into the Q&A. All right, so I've got a first question about internships, and the question being, are students doing internships after their freshman year, and what percentage? So the way that we track percentage of internships is we ask our outgoing seniors how many internships they engaged with during their time at Loyola. And our recent surveys show us that over 80% of our seniors engaged in at least one internship, and many of them are engaging in 2 or 3. We don't have the specific percentages on how many are doing the internships in that first summer after their first year in school. What I can tell you is that it can be challenging to compete for the more formal internship options out there. So if you're looking for a large name company, whether it's something like Under Armour in town, or a large financial firm like Morgan Stanley in New York. Those firms and those companies typically their target are folks who are finishing up their junior year. They go into their junior year summer. It's a 12-week internship. It's also kind of like an extended interview process that often leads to a full-time job offer. That said, a lot of those companies are starting to do early access programs for those finishing their sophomore year. As somebody who's finishing your first year, our advice typically is see if you can build up some networking with alumni, some ways that you may be able to work with someone to create some type of an internship or a relevant project to help you dive deeper into something you're interested in. That's typically the more common route, rather than competing with a lot of the students in the more formal internship programs that are more geared towards those finishing junior year. But there's always exceptions to that. And I think, if you've got some, say, prior internship experience from high school, which I know more and more of our incoming students do, or other unique situations, we'll sit down with you. I think that's one of the key pieces for our offices. We'd want to know from you, what's your rationale for wanting this early internship experience, and then how can we frame that and come up with a plan to help you go after it. So it's a great question, and I think it's one of those things that would warrant a one-on-one discussion sometime early this fall. Other questions from anybody joining us tonight? Anything in general about Loyola that you're curious about that maybe you haven't gotten from any other orientation sessions so far? All right, I'm not seeing anything coming in, but I can hang out for another 30 seconds or a minute, see if anything does come in. Well, thank you for the compliment. I'm glad it looks like things were pretty comprehensive, so I appreciate that. And again, I think you just saw something come through the chat here. That tonight's recording will be available on the orientation website. I do see another question about any forensic science opportunities. So yeah, this is a really growing field. We have some incredible professors on campus connected to this. So you may have met Dr. Dave Rivers, who's a real leader in this area of forensic science. Does a ton of great research with students. I think one of the key things to get involved with forensic science is working with professors to get some on-campus experience, and our professors in those areas. One of the things about career services is that we really look at our team as we're champions of career readiness and helping you get ready for your career, but we're not the experts or the owners on every single industry and job opportunity. So just as much as different professors will refer students to us, we also refer students to different professors who have really great understandings of niche opportunities. So Dr. Rivers is a great resource on some initial on-campus forensic science opportunities. And then yes, through the Handshake Network, through a lot of our different kinds of corporate partners, whether it's jobs that might be in more of the pharmaceutical industry that might touch on different elements of forensic science, or even jobs related to law enforcement. We do have a lot of different organizations in both of those arenas that will come and recruit on campus, where I think you'd find relevant opportunities for that. All right, I'm seeing, are most internships paid these days? Great question. So I'm a huge advocate that internships always should be paid, especially if the student is actually doing work for the company. So I think that the real litmus test for a company that we share with our employers all the time is if you've got a student intern who's doing something for you that you'd otherwise have to pay someone to do, you should pay that intern. Um, I think the exceptions for more unpaid internships are ones where it's truly more about shadowing and experiencing things and watching. But if you're actually doing work, it should be paid. The culture is shifting more and more to that these days, especially for summer internships that tend to be more of the full time. It's 5 days a week for 12 weeks. In semester internships, there can be more unpaid ones out there. One of the advantages of those, though, is that rather than 12 weeks of full-time work, they tend to be more 10 hours a week. So it's 1.5 days throughout the semester. And one of the things you can do with those is get three credits. So you're really using that internship as your fifth class for the semester. So you're taking 4 classes on campus and then an internship class. And you can do that twice within your major. That said, even those internships that are for credit, there's nothing stopping them from also being paid. So sometimes people have an assumption that either I can get academic credit from Loyola or I can get paid. That's not the case. It can be both, and many times is, especially for those in-semester internships. All right, and I see also our research opportunities available in all majors. This is probably, it's a question that would probably be best answered by the specific academic department. So I can't, transparently say 100% yes. What I will say, though, is that in terms of are research opportunities available to anybody from all majors? Absolutely. So you'll see different kinds of opportunities across campus, maybe engaging in our Center for Community Service and Justice with different kinds of research-based service learning. There might be, if you consider something like our Sellinger Schools pitch competition, where you really get to do some applied research and preparing of a pitch that's often around solving different kinds of societal problems. Those are things that are interdisciplinary, so students from all majors can participate in those. So there are a lot of opportunities on campus, but I won't go so far as to say, yes, there's specific research opportunities available in every single major, but I think that's a great conversation to follow up with within those specific academic departments. All right, are there local opportunities for mechanical engineering like Lockheed Martin? Absolutely. So Lockheed Martin has recruited on campus. We've had Northrop Grumman work with us on a variety of events and information sessions. Also, for mechanical engineers outside of aerospace industry like that, when you look at architectural firms, they're not just hiring architects. They're also looking for students in all different kinds of engineering fields, including mechanical. So we've had some local firms, just to give you a taste, if you'd like to look them up. BKM is a pretty large commercial architectural firm in town. So just one example of the types of firms in addition to aerospace like Lockheed. We've also had the Space Telescope Science Institute, which is based locally here in Baltimore. They're a regular recruiter at our STEM career fair. So yeah, a lot of opportunities in that area. All right. With that, any other questions before we close things up for tonight? Oh, I should also mention, I did see a reference to political science, and someone actually said interest in pre-law. I want to make sure everybody knows, in addition to our main career services team, there are 2 additional advisors that are based in academic departments specific to career paths. So one is our pre-law advisor, who's based in the political science department, and you can go onto the Loyola website and find information about pre-law there. So I would really encourage you to take a look there. We actually collaborated with that team earlier this year to put together a path to law school. So it's really an action plan for the different kinds of milestones and things that you should be preparing for through your 4 years to get ready for law school. The other group on campus is pre-health. So there is a specific advisor based out of our Natural and Applied Sciences division that works with students interested in anything from medical school to nursing, physical therapy, dental school. So any of those health-based professions. So we have specific support at Loyola for you. Great advisors who I'd recommend you reach out to sooner than later when you get to campus if you're interested in any of those health-based or legal careers. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. It's been great spending time with you all. I hope you have a great rest of your virtual orientation. So looking forward to you joining us on campus this fall for real life in-person college experience. It's going to be a great semester ahead. Look forward to meeting you in person, and wishing you the best for the rest of the summer. Thanks again.